If at any point you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, share and subscribe to the channel. When you do all of these things, it just lets the algorithm know that you enjoy this content and it will then push it out to other people. So please take out some time to just do all of that for me. Okay, thank you so much. Hi there, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jay. I am a Nigerian content creator living in Somerset, United Kingdom, and in today's video I'm just going to be sharing with you guys, while I'm doing my makeup, how I was able to transition into my adulthood. So you know that thing where in Africa your parents literally, especially the girl child, expect that you would leave their house through marriage. Well, my parents had that thought as well, and I was able to break away from it even without their consent. We struggled for a while, you get, but here we are basically. So I'm just going to be talking to you guys basically about that, and I hope that you can take away one or two lessons and maybe even teach me some, or let me know what I could have done better. Yeah, let's get into it. Zekel 24K gold leaf, this serum, I am literally obsessed. You can see that I'm almost out of it. It literally helped me in my trying times. And when I mean my trying times, the times that I was struggling with, you know, dryness on my face. Even in an African home, my parents were the type who definitely thought that leaving their house, you have to be married, especially as a girl child. I'll get people saying things like, oh, your aunties left their parents' house, you know, through marriage, and you also have to do the same. You cannot be different. I would say that COVID-19 really opened my eyes, and when I mean opened my eyes, it made me realize that I was just really comfortable with where I was, and I realized that I wanted more for myself. So during COVID, yeah, I realized that I had goals, like things that were just in my head, that I'm like, how am I going to achieve all of these things? And it basically just felt like I was in a cage, and I had so much potentials that I could not, you know, actualize. And I began to think to myself, you have to do something to get out of, you know, this hole or this cage that you feel like you are in. And coincidentally, I also got a placement for my internship at the time, and when I got it, I was so excited because I'm like, okay, maybe we can move from here. I moved to Lagos for my internship. If you have been following my channel for the longest time, you probably be aware of those times where in my vlogs I talked about my internship and how I was able to get my internship. Anyways, COVID passed and I was gingered. I wrote all things that I wanted to do, like within a time frame, and I told myself that give or take I would achieve those things within the time frame that I had set for myself. COVID had passed and I already had the job that I wanted. That was like my internship, and you know, I just went ahead, did my internship, as well as plan for the other goals that I wanted for myself. Yeah, and which involved relocating to the UK. Close to the end of my internship year, I started looking for a job in Lagos because I stayed a little bit far away from Lagos, and I thought that, oh, I mean, at the time I thought to myself that I would have better opportunities in Lagos than where I was staying at the time, or the state I was staying at the time, that I would have better opportunities, you know, I would be able to get better job, a very good, well-paying job, and I'll just be able to fend for myself literally, because One thing I told myself after COVID was I was going to learn to be independent, and I would not have to like depend on anybody for, not depend on anybody for anything, but like, you know, like the basic stuff. I would be able to like afford those things on my own by myself and not have to run to somebody to literally get something as trivial as a sanitary pad. Close to the end of my internship, I began to look for jobs, you know. I told myself I was going to get a well-paying job, and when I tell you that that was even like the hardest, like it was a very hard time for me looking for a job in Lagos. Hmm. Uh, Anyways, I started looking for a job, and then, you know, I went home to tell my parents, to tell my mom actually, that these were my plans, and these were the things that I wanted to do. I wanted to get a job in Lagos, I wanted to stay in Lagos and build a life for myself. And she was okay with it. Meanwhile, I was staying with a family friend in Lagos during my internship program. So I went home, I told her, she sounded like she was okay with it. I mean, she was okay with it at the time, and I'm like, okay, well, thank God, because I mean, usually she would be the ones to make like major life decisions for me, but I was at the point where I wanted to start making life-changing decisions for myself, and I was literally ready to start doing that. Yeah. And so I went to her, I told her, and she's like, oh, okay, when you get a job, when you get an apartment, because I was also looking for an apartment at the time, when you get an apartment, let me know. And you know that thing where you want to do something like just to encourage your parents, you like, you make effort. So I was trying to get an apartment in Lagos, and I had looked at the range of I was trying to get a one-bedroom apartment, given the fact that I was also running my business, Laoye Center, at the time. So I was going to get a one-bedroom, and the price range then was like 500,000, 550-ish, and I had already saved up 300k during my internship here. So I went to her with, you know, that Omogidi vibes. You know, that I have done my part vibe, and I just need like your support, you know. And then I went to her, and then I went to her, and she was okay with the idea of it, and she was like, okay, when you get everything, just let me know, and you know, we'll support you from there. And then I went back to Lagos. And one day I got back from work, I remember vividly, and the family friend I was staying with called me and said, so you are almost finishing your internship. Mommy has asked me to bring you home once you are done with your internship. And that got to me, because I'm like, I'm approaching my late 20s, and like, I'm not even involved in my own, like the decisions that affect my life. I'm not even involved. You're not involving me. And so I was like, but I went home. I had this discussion with mommy, and she said this and that. And she was like, oh no, that she told her a different thing. I'm like, okay. Next thing I did was I just kept quiet, and I'm like, you know that Yoruba adage of what you are going to do is only you that knows. Yeah. So I didn't say anything. I wanted, and I don't know how to act impulsively, so I would think this through before I actually act. And so I thought about it for the longest time. I told myself that if I happen to go home, then it will reduce my chances of, you know, achieving the things that I wanted for myself. So it so happened that this my family friend then had a trip to go to, and I was the only one left in my house then. So I made the decision to pack my things and move them into my friend's place, because then this family friend had given me like she had then given me like an ultimatum to move out, like to pack my things so that she can then take me home. I then spoke to my friend, and my friend was like, oh, you can like bring your things in here, and like pending the time that you are able to, you know, get an apartment. And meanwhile, I was still looking for an apartment at the time. And you know, Lagos now, when you get something, it's better for you to see it and just pay. Like if you see what you like, just pay immediately, because if you snooze like this, you don't lose Niel. Like you have literally lost that apartment. I packed my things to my friend's house, and my family friend then got back from our trip, and this was where the problem started, because she then asked me, did you tell mommy that you were going to be moving your things to your friend's apartment? Because she came into my room and realized that, you know, I had just one box left. Literally, I had just one box. And she's like, did you tell mommy that you were packing your things out? And I'm like, no, I did not. I already even told her that I was trying to get a job in Lagos. That's so I feel like she's informed about this decision. And so she calls my mom to tell her that, oh, this is what is going on. I mean, I did not know. So next thing, I get a call saying I should come home on or before the night of the next day. Ladies and gentlemen, I knew I was in hot soup, because but I felt like I was in soup, but I also felt like, man, this is literally what you have to face to get to where you want. That's what I told myself. So I packed like a few clothes. I went home, got there that night, and they had gone to bed basically, so I had to wait for the next morning. After devotion, the panel was called. My dad was then like, oh, I heard this, I heard that, is it true, this one, that one? And then I had to start talking, because, and no, at first I did not say anything. I literally just let them talk and just like say a lot of things that they thought. And when they were done talking, I didn't want to say anything, but there was this small still voice in my head that told me that this is the only time that you get to say something, and whatever you say now will literally change a lot of things. So I told myself, okay, we shall talk this talk. And so I then told my dad, oh, this is actually the plan that I had, and also given the fact that it's even like easier to run my business from Lagos than it is from, you know, than it is from where I was staying at that time. It's like much easier for me, and I'm also trying to get a job in Lagos as well. So like it's just better for me to like be in Lagos. And then my dad was like, oh, okay, like I didn't know that that was the idea you have. I mean, that's okay, that's good. Like if that's the decision that you have made, then it's okay, as long as you're like ready to go through with it. My mom still was not in support of this decision. You know, like literally it's like what the head of the house says is what is going to like, you know, happen. I was then able to like go back to Lagos and continue looking for my job, rather than get the support that I would have gotten if I was doing what they wanted me to do, or what she wanted me to do. I didn't get any form of support. Rather, I got beef, I got fight. I'm like, hey God, what's a man would do like this? Like, and like subsequently, you God. Now that I think about it, I'm like, yeah. And you know, in Nigerian home, when they are sending like other people on errands and they are not sending you on errand, it's going to look like, you know, you've done something. That's literally what my mom was doing to me. So she would send other people around me on errands, and she would like just leave me out, and I would just be there, you know, standing, trying to figure out what to do to help out. And it was a struggle, honestly. I left home, no support, and then I had, remember, my rent, I then got an apartment, and I had only saved up 300,000 naira. So for the first time in a very long time, I had to dip my hand into my business funds to pay my rent, because I chose the adult life now. So I had to start bearing the consequences of my action. Yeah. So I paid my rent, I moved into my apartment. My friend was very supportive. In fact, I had the best support system ever. My friends and a couple of other people were very supportive. They helped me move out. In fact, at the time I was even having difficulties getting an apartment, they also helped me. I was settled in my apartment, but without a job. I did not have a job. At this time I was still looking for a job, and she knew, but no help. Okay, so I then decided that okay, I was just going to like keep doing my business up until when I am able to get a job. I was running my business. My business was doing relatively well. I mean, that was literally the only thing I had on my hands then, and I mean, to also create content. So those are the only things that I had on my hands then, and I was doing it with the whole of my heart, you know, because I had all the time in the world. Meanwhile, I was still looking for a job, and I am not a lazy person. Yeah, so I got tired of staying at home at some point, and I took this very shitty job that I should not have taken, but I just wanted to be able to like go out, come in, like just have somewhere to go. Like literally, even the orders I would have, the dispatch rider would come and pick it up like in front of my house. So I was not going anywhere. I resigned after 1 month because I could not take that their nonsense in that place. I really could not. So I resigned, and after I resigned, I kept looking for a job. As God would have it, 3 days after I resigned, or before I resigned, pardon me, I got another job in another hospital that I've been wanting to get a job. And if I tell you that all through all of this, my struggle, I was still not in good terms with my mom. Like for every time, at first I stopped going home because the attitude was just too much. Hey, attitude, dear poor man. The attitude was just too much. If I go into the kitchen, if I try to like help out with cooking, she'd be like, no, 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 don't touch my pot, oh, don't touch my things, oh, please leave my kitchen, oh, I don't want to see you in my house. You know, those very dramatic statements. That was what she was saying to me at that time. And I'm like, I might as well not even like come to the house at all. Let's just, you know, let's everybody just do their day. She will say things like, she's not a bad mother, oh, she wants the best for me, this one, that one. But yeah, I am thinking, you want the best for me, but you're not asking me what I want. And that's something that I think that African parents, like, that's one problem I think that they literally have. They want to make all the decisions for you without even asking you what you really want for yourself, like the goals that maybe you set for yourself. Or do they just think that you don't, like, you're visionless, or you don't have goals, you don't see your mates doing things and you just like want to do not basically what they are doing, but like maybe get better for yourself, so that when there's like a gathering, you too, you can raise your head high and say that you've achieved something for yourself. I mean, not for that purpose, but you can just basically live your life, have a really good life, afford the things that you really want to, you know, like get. Oh, did I mention that I was always the good girl? I was that good girl that everything they say or tell me to do is always like, yes ma, yes ma, yes. Like, you would never catch me disobeying. So this was the first of its kind. This was literally the first of its kind. This was like, you mean this girl is doing this? How is it possible? It's not possible. But I knew what I wanted, and I was going to get it regardless of whatever anyone said or thought. I was going to get what I wanted. In the heat of all this beef, I would call it, you know, I would go home, I would beg, I would apologize, because I'm like, I literally wanted to know what the beef was really about. Was it because I moved out and nobody has literally ever done that, or maybe I did something else that I was not, you know, like aware of? I just wanted to know what I did wrong. And for every time I go home, I would beg, because it got to a point that I was just really tired of this drama. I just wanted peace. And you know that African thing where they will tell you that if there is a fight, an argument between someone older and someone younger, is the younger one that will still go and apologize. I am using my blush palette as my eyeshadow today. It took nothing from me to apologize, honestly. Nothing, absolutely nothing. But this thing lingered, because the more I apologized, the more the attitude increased. I've done a lot of begging basically, and I did not know what else to do again. So I'm like, you know, that's it. That's all that this young lady can do about this matter. That's the best that I can do. Meanwhile, all through this time, I was also going through my whole I got a job, I lost it saga. So imagine imagine my mental capacity there. Like, imagine where I was mentally at that time. I was in the poto. I was in the shit hole because my mental health was I don't know, it was not even in the best place at all. God was gracious. I then got the job that I currently have now. So I went home to like just tell her, oh, I had gotten a job and I will be leaving the country. She congratulated me. It seemed as though we squashed our beef right there and there, and you know, we were done beefing, I guess. When it comes to communication, it has not been the best, so I'm not going to even say that like we are back into communication like that. This is the lip that I am going for. I wanted to try it off camera to just see how it looked, and I like it. I just don't know if to go for matte or, you know, gloss, because I'm a gloss girl any day, anytime. And that was how I was able to actualize my dreams, actualize my goals, even though I did not have like the consent of my mom especially. But I mean, look at me now. Look at me now. I'm just really happy. I'm just grateful to God that I went through with my decisions and I trusted myself to, you know, go through with the things that I planned for myself. What I would tell you if you are in this situation is that figure out what you want for yourself first. I feel like when you do that, you would know how to make headway, then prepare for your goals. Okay, so I mean, I knew I was going to get an apartment. I knew what I wanted to get here, so I knew I had to save for my rent. At least make an effort, okay? And even if you're going to see like people that are going to help you, they already know that you've done something now and they just need to like lift you up. You know, you're about to say that is the child that stretches that will carry. If you don't stretch, we will not carry you. So just try and make some effort. At the end of the day, I would say that don't listen to the noise. Don't listen to that noise, okay? If you think it is what you want for yourself, if you are well prepared for it, girl, go for it. Go for it though, because again, I know that they always say that you know, like parents are like guidance and they want to like guide you, but sometimes if you do not make your own mistakes in this life, I don't know, you will not know what's going on for you. You will not know what is working for you and what is not, and what you need to get better at. So I'm just saying that take that leap of faith, take that big step, get out of your comfort zone and take that goal that you have always wanted to achieve. Yeah, here is the finished look of my makeup. I really like it. I went out of my way for these lips and I am absolutely in love. Ooh. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if at any point you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, share and subscribe to the channel. When you do all of these things, it just lets the algorithm know that you enjoy this content and it will then push it out to other people. So please take out some time to just do all of that for me. Okay, thank you so much, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Okay.